American Timelines.
Welcome to
with Joe
and Amy,
and this is episode 3, 1992.
1992.
Before we get started and going with 1992, there's a couple things I'd like to say that
Is that a list of apologies?
yeah, well, there should be some apologies. But first, a lot of people, a lot of listeners have asked, what is with the amazing intro music? That's a perfect fit
I know.
for the name of our podcast,
that's
American
right.
Timelines. And
Yeah.
no, it wasn't written for American Timelines. It really wasn't. It actually is the composer, the writer, and band is the amazing Matt Truman. He has
Amazingly talented.
Yep, a super talented guy.
Love it.
He's from his band. He's got several bands, but the one that's my favorite that I buy all his music is the Matt Truman Ego Trip. So that song is called Chrissy. If you like this podcast, you should look up the Matt Truman Ego Trip. Everything he does is awesome.
Yeah, it's really good
You
stuff.
should book him, and he should not have to work a day job because he should just do music because he's awesome.
Yes.
The other thing we have to address, I do want to start making some corrections.
Some apologies.
So I have some corrections and some fact checks from 1991. Maybe some
Mostly apologies.
There might be some apologies in order.
Corrections and apologies.
First, I have to say that the maps, I checked, the maps have indeed been updated in Northwood School Systems.
Oh, that's a
to
relief.
reflect Russia.
Good.
They have a brand new school they just built.
That's right. So they wouldn't have
school.
brought over the old maps that said USSR.
Yeah,
on.
so I'm confident that the Northwoodians are being raised correctly to know that it's Russia, not USSR.
Corrections and apologies.
Chick-fil-A, turns out, it's actually not run by Nazis.
Oh, good.
And they don't kill any gays. They don't kill anyone.
Okay. I'm relieved about that too because my
Yeah.
conscience was kind of gnawing.
Yeah,
at me.
they've never, as far as I know, they've never murdered any gay people, and I think there's a small percentage of them are Nazis. If any.
Just maybe one guy.
There's probably a Nazi.
One guy.
I bet if we went
one
to
guy
every
in
Chick-fil-A,
Indiana.
we could find one.
Yeah.
I don't think they have Chick-fil-A in Indiana, but we could probably find a Nazi.
Yeah.
But generally, they're not owned by Nazis.
Yeah.
So I was wrong on that. Their chicken is delicious.
Corrections and apologies.
Senator John Hines, who was killed in an airplane crash,
Yeah.
he was not covered in ketchup.
Oh, good.
Corrections and apologies.
A friend of mine tweeted me.
Mm-hmm.
One of our listeners actually tweeted me. He's now a friend.
One of your listeners.
He was a listener first, and then he became a friend. He tweeted that Stevie Ray Vaughan actually didn't die in an airplane death. It was a helicopter.
Oh, okay.
So when we
Nerd.
say celebrity airplane death, we're
What kind of nerd would just?
Well, it was Jim Jaco who.
Oh well, there it is. That's
yeah.
exactly.
He's also a son of a bitch.
Corrections and apologies.
Another correction: Silence of the Lambs was actually not written or directed by Kevin Costner, nor was he in it.
Oh, okay.
He-
We were way off on that one.
Right. He also wasn't in Psycho, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and
That's right.
he is in fact not Ed Gein.
Oh, I thought
Yes.
maybe he was.
And-
He's such a good actor
You know,
that he becomes
That's why. Yeah, it makes sense why we're mistaken because he's the greatest actor in American history.
right.
Corrections next week.
Yeah.
And also, one other correction on the Kevin Costner front. If we were to do a Costner podcast,
Yes.
the likelihood that we would vomit from happiness is actually very low.
Oh,
I know I claim that we would vomit
we're
from
gonna,
happiness.
and that's probably not
Yeah,
gonna happen
it's
on a Kevin
actually
Costner podcast.
It probably wouldn't happen if you had a Costner podcast. There might be a Costner pod.
I'm gonna interrupt you just because you're blathering on a lot.
Yeah.
But before anybody asks, I have a horrible head cold.
Oh,
so
yes.
that is why I sound even worse and even more Midwestern than I normally do
Yeah.
because
Amy's got a bad head cold.
I
that she
got
got
it from somebody else in this house that I will remain nameless.
one of the dogs.
Mhm.
Actually, I had a really bad upper respiratory infection, everyone. So
Yes, he did.
lucky we didn't record this last week. It would have been.
Because he was being a big fat baby about it.
I was being a small fat baby,
That's
not a big
right.
fat baby. Okay, so I think that's the end of the Kevin Costner corrections.
Corrections and apologies.
Ew.
Another thing in the last episode, I really thought I was right about this, and I was wrong. But remember we talked about for some reason we talked about it in 1934. So I think we're talking about movies that have won all three of
Oh
the
yeah, the trifecta.
and I said in 1934 wasn't really that big of a deal because there's only 3 movies out.
Oh,
and I
there's
looked
more.
up, and there were actually more than a couple. There was a bunch
Well,
of movies.
I could have told
but-
you that.
Well, you didn't. You agreed
I
with
know.
me. You
Well,
totally agreed with me when I
I
said
thought
there
you
was
were
only
being
3.
sarcastic.
No, I don't know when I'm being sarcastic. I'm an idiot. No, but I will say they weren't good. None of the movies
Right,
were good.
right. They never were.
None of them were good in the
That's right.
30s. So fuck you, 30s people who lived in the 30s. And watched
We'll get
movies.
to the 30s.
And you know anybody
Let's
who
just cool it. We'll get to the 30s.
I just want to say this: all you people that grew up in the 30s, fuck you guys.
Corrections and apologies.
Another correction on my part: Liz Taylor actually isn't the best. I actually, for some
you
reason,
said she was the best?
Yeah, we brought up one of her divorces. And I was like, "Oh, Liz Taylor's the best."
What made you say
I don't
that?
know why I would have even said that.
Corrections and apologies.
Also, there's no evidence that Sergei Krikalev has 3 scrotums. That's
There's
has not
no
been
e-
proven.
Not been,
It's not
but
anywhere.
it hasn't been disproven.
Oh, I scoured the internet for that.
Did you
I
really?
did. I searched on Google 3 scrotums
And
everywhere,
searched,
image searched, and barely anybody has 3 scrotums apparently.
But you did
so
probably catch a few eyeballs of it if you Google image searched
I
it.
didn't see much.
Corrections and apologies.
Al Gore did not kill Tim Berners-Lee.
Oh, the guy that invented the internet.
Yeah, he's still alive actually. So
Oh,
I think
wow.
Corrections and apologies.
you're going to be excited about this one. Remember we were talking about the CD record clubs where you could buy
Yes,
CDs?
yes.
BGM.
BMG.
I think it was BGM.
BMG. I'm
BMG.
positive it was BMG.
Oh, yeah, it was BMG. The other one was Columbia House.
Yes,
Remember that?
that
Columbia
is
House.
right. That was the big one.
Corrections and apologies.
Also, City Slickers did not star Kevin Costner.
Oh.
And Hook also did not star Kevin Costner.
Did we say that one too?
I think I did.
Jeez.
And neither did Terminator 2.
Okay.
And he also wasn't all the voices in Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
So that
I'm
I
glad
think
that's
it's-
cleared up.
That's the extent of the corrections that we know that we've screwed up.
Okay.
There could be future ones.
What is this episode going to be about now that we did that for 85 years?
1992.
1992.
1992. Let's say it together.
1992.
Before we dive deep into 92, something I had a revelation of what's going to happen this season on American Timelines.
Oh, what?
A little preview, not to get a spoiler alert.
We
but
meet?
We meet.
Yeah.
We're going to meet
That's right.
because I was thinking about this at the beginning of this decade. We were children who didn't know
I was
each
in high
other.
school.
Well, you
I
were
was
still a
almost
child.
in college.
You were still a child, but I mean, we had pubes, but we were young pubes.
You might not have.
I did. I got them early.
You had them when you were 4.
I had in junior high. Me and Rob Jones were the only ones with hair on our legs, and
I thought you were going to say pubes.
no hair on our legs.
I was
Those
like,
are
why do you
pubes.
know?
Those are pubes, kind of.
What?
Right?
No.
Like
that's
hair
not
is
pubic
pubes.
hair.
It's
no.
pubis.
No.
You don't have hair on your legs unless you have hair on your balls. So, regardless, at the beginning of this season, the beginning of the
Let's
decade.
go back to talking about pubes.
no, no. The beginning of the episode.
Oh, my God. That's funny.
The beginning of the season, we are kids who don't know each other in different states.
We have our coming of age in the 90s.
Yes, and by the end of this episode of this season, and by episode 10, we will be engaged and
That's
living
right.
together.
That's right. Yep.
So as we get through this, it's
In
well,
Chicago.
spoiler alert. We're going to meet each other. We're going to fall in love. We're going to move in together. We're going to get to this. That's an exciting thing that I just realized. So, but now we're 92, so we're getting closer to
To that event.
that. But
No,
we're not-
90
We're still not there yet. You're still in
92,
St.
I
Louis.
was in Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
Oh, you were in college.
At the lovely Southeast Missouri State University.
Anyway, you were in college.
Yes.
And you were doing theater.
Yes. I haven't thought of it for so long.
Were any of the guns in your college, or were they in
No,
high
they
school?
they all went to like Fordham University in New York and stuff.
Now you forgot to mention that when you were in high school that you knew the Guns,
Yes, I did.
James
I knew.
Gunn and Sean Gunn.
I
They were the-
didn't. I met James Gunn once, but Sean Gunn was one of my best friends, and Matt Gunn
Oh,
and I were in plays
I
together.
don't know
So
what that is, but I thought James Gunn. Which one's the one who directed it? James Gunn.
James Gunn.
Sean Gunn's the one who was
is in it,
in the Galaxy Guardians of the Galaxy.
and he was in Gilmore Girls and stuff.
Yeah,
and he's,
so Amy knows those guys. Haha, boom, in your face, everybody. But anyway. but
and
you
Matt
know-
Gunn writes comedy for Bill Maher.
Oh, Bill Maher's great.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was in high school, but now we're in college at Southeast Missouri State
That's
University.
right.
SEMO, which I had never heard of until I met you.
Yeah,
No offense.
and you were still in high school.
And this was 92 was the year my friends and I picked up the video camera and we started making
Oh,
movies.
we did that in high school,
And
so yeah.
videos
Mhm.
and Beastie Boys videos and music videos and
That's right.
taking our shirts off at McDonald's and videotaping, going to Kroger's at 2 a.m. and making videos. This was the beginning of it.
Yeah.
So 92 I started having a lot of fun. I was a sophomore. And I started having friends who could drive, so we'd go driving around, go barfing and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
But we still didn't know each other.
1992.
We want to credit. We need to give credit where credit is due. Some of our info comes straight from popculture.us. The top song
Probably not.
was "I Will Always Love You" by Whitney Houston.
Oh God.
Again, a song from
Yeah.
a damn Kevin Costner movie.
The Kevin Costner movie. That's right.
And
He can't. He's stalking our podcast.
son of a bitch. God, Kevin Costner sucks. All of you listeners who like him, he sucks. But this Whitney Houston song was obviously a redone. It was a Dolly Parton song.
Yeah,
It was
that's right.
redone. And I think I went back and listened to the Dolly Parton one. That's good.
Yeah.
Probably better. And I'm not even a country fan.
Whitney Houston was freakish in her,
She was unbelievable. in
like,
her voice.
like she was almost. If I believe in aliens, she would be somebody. Until she got all fucked up, she was like,
But when
she
did-
was like the most physically beautiful thing to look
She
at, and
was
her
gorgeous.
voice was flawless. Like I couldn't believe. It's amazing when you think of it. But then she was such a tragic.
But don't you think somebody
person.
like that? I mean, it's all good, Bobby Brown, but don't you think that's because with that, like, I am unbelievably beautiful.
I'm just saying, it's unreal how otherworldly she was.
No, that's what I'm saying. But maybe that's why she got so messed up.
Right,
Because
right.
it's
I see
like,
what you're saying.
I have no peers in the world. Anyway, Whitney Houston was unbelievable. Although I'm gonna dance with somebody was pretty shitty.
1992.
1992 was the last year that both the Winter and Summer Olympic Games shared the same year.
Oh, I thought they always did.
I-
You can tell how much I
Yeah,
don't
I-
care about Olympics.
I honestly don't have any idea when they are ever either.
Yeah.
Whenever they are, I'm like, oh,
I don't
God,
get it.
Olympics again.
I guess I'm surprised you don't love it because you love all these other boring things.
Uh,
So like football and baseball. Baseball,
No.
if I couldn't drink at a baseball game, I would pass out. I
I've
think,
never
just from
understood
boredom.
Olympics. Like, not even for a second. Like, I can't even watch it for a second. I'm like,
Yeah, I don't.
who
care.
cares?
I
I
don't
don't
care at
know
all.
any of the people. I don't understand the sports.
Yep.
What the hell is curling?
Right.
Any of it. Like,
Yep.
none of it. I never care about it. It's just an inconvenience.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's like, oh, great, people are going to be talking about this.
I guess when I was little, I would watch ice skating, and because it was pretty girls and shiny things. But other than that, no.
And well, then how's that a sport? How do
Right.
you win?
1992.
The spinner hubcap was
Oh,
was
God.
invented. Spinners were
Thank
invented
God.
by James J.D.
Thank
Gregg.
God. How did we live without spinners?
The guy who invented the spinner hubcap was from Tulsa, Oklahoma, in 1992. James J.D. Gregg. My name's J.D. Gregg. I'm gonna come up with some spinners.
Now
What
they
if
just
they
use them for
spun?
now they just use them for sight gags in movies.
1992.
A shipping container filled with 28,000 rubber ducks
Yeah.
was lost in the Pacific Ocean in 1992.
Oh my God! How many?
28,000. To this day, they're still being found around the world.
Oh, wouldn't that be cool?
That's cool.
Find a rubber
to
ducky
know that
in
they
the-
came from that.
1992.
Marissa Tomei won Best Supporting Actress for
My
her
Cousin
performance
Vinny.
in My Cousin Vinny.
It was in big uproar.
Yeah, I remember she was.
People said she didn't deserve it and stuff.
Oh, I just remember she was super hot, and
She looked like your ex-girlfriend, though, right?
no, and I don't think so. But
You always liked those dark-haired girls.
I like all kinds of ladies. But
Wait a minute.
My Cousin Vinny stands out to me because the VHS tape that had My Cousin Vinny on it that we taped over it with shit breath.
Oh my God.
So we always knew the shit breath video because it said My Cousin,
Cousin
Vinny,
Vinny.
and it had a line through My Cousin Vinny, and it said shit breath on it.
Well, it was
So,
classic
it was Jim Jaco's original.
cinematic masterpiece.
His parents taped My Cousin Vinny, and then we taped over it with shit breath. The greatest video of all
Crazy.
time. And if you don't know what shit breath is,
All right, let's not waste any more time.
No.
Never brush his teeth, he's shit breath. Never use a breath mint, he's shit breath.
Everyone.
Keep reading.
Shit Breath is a great movie. Everyone
Keep
needs to know about Shit Breath. It's
reading.
going to be
No.
re-released on Blu-ray. It's about a guy who eats his own poop and he has terrible breath. Anyway,
1992.
singer Sinead O'Connor, best known as a bald singer and for her hit Nothing Compares to You, tore up a picture of Pope John Paul II on Saturday Night Live.
I remember that.
Declaring, "Fight the real enemy." I remember there being a bunch of controversy about her, but I don't know that I was aware of why. Or
yeah.
that I even cared.
Yeah.
I also didn't realize how great that song was.
Yeah.
And Nothing Compares to You is great.
Yeah, it is.
Chris Cornell did an awesome version
Oh,
of it.
God. Chris
Oh,
Cornell
my
sings like
God.
an angel.
Rest in peace. He's
Yes.
the best. He did an unbelievable version of it. Prince's version.
Yes.
Prince actually, he wrote it, but he did a different version of it, which is awesome.
Yes.
Her version's great, too. I
Yeah.
mean, every version of it's awesome that I've heard.
I don't know if she did much else, though.
No, she really didn't do much else.
I mean, somebody will probably say, what the fuck? What's wrong with you? Of course
Yeah,
she
you
did.
idiot. She did this,
Yep.
this, and that.
Yeah,
Remember when
right.
she did that? These boots are made for
But
walking.
we pride ourselves on being idiots. So
Yeah, we are idiots, so
we're the
there you
first
go.
people to admit that we're
Yeah, I will
idiots.
admit it. You tell me what I did wrong, and then I said something stupid, and
Oops.
I'm like, oh, well, guess what? I'm an idiot.
That's
So
right.
so what?
So I get license, baby.
Screw you. Try being an idiot for once, and you'll know how it is,
That's right.
dude.
1992.
Long Island Lolita, Amy Fisher,
Oh,
shot the
God,
wife.
I
forgot about
remember
this whole
that.
thing. Long Island Lolita, Amy Fisher, shot the wife of her lover, Joey Buttafuoco.
That's right.
Pronounced Buttafuoco.
Buttafuoco.
Sorry.
Not Buttafuoco.
Mary Jo Buttafuoco in the face.
And she had no right to...
She shot the wife of her
Yeah.
lover, Joey Buttafuoco, Mary Jo Buttafuoco, in the face. Mary Jo survived and later divorced her husband, Joey Buttafuoco.
Oh, my God. I haven't heard
forgot
that name.
all about the Buttafuoco thing.
Oh, my... I remember we were in college. We were joking about going as Amy Fisher for Halloween.
Amy Fisher and Joey Buttafuoco.
Yes.
Where's the Me Too movement now? Amy Fisher needed it. Joey Buttafuoco.
No, honey, Amy Fisher killed her.
No, she didn't kill her.
She shot her in the
survived.
face.
Yeah, but probably because Joey Buttafuoco was all forcing her to do all that.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe not, but still, Joey Buttafuoco was
She was
gross.
I know, but she was
piece
into
of
him.
crap.
She
Yeah,
was,
he was
she,
gross. Joey Buttafuoco, who was a piece of shit.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, he was a piece of garbage.
All right, what else?
Anyway,
I wonder what he's doing now.
God, I forgot all about that. We should Google that.
We
He's
should.
probably dead.
What's he
right?
doing now?
Yeah.
I don't
He's
know.
probably in jail.
He's probably in jail.
He's got to be in
I wonder if
jail.
Amy Fisher's still in jail.
Let's look this up,
All
and
right.
we'll be like, yes, on the next episode,
Yeah.
Joey Buttafuoco is in jail. I would be shocked if he wasn't in
yeah,
jail.
I bet he is.
1992.
President George H.W. Bush vomited on Japanese Prime Minister Kiichi Miyazawa
Is it
during
right?
a state
Is it
dinner.
right? I don't think
Oh,
so.
Miyazawa.
So he
Prime
barfed on
Minister-
him?
Don't you remember that when President H.W.
I remember when he
barfed
choked on a pretzel, or was that a W?
That's W. H.W. threw up.
He did.
You don't remember this? It's
No.
the greatest thing that's ever happened in my
Oh,
life.
Your whole life, and you got
yes.
married and kids.
President George H.W. Bush vomited on the Japanese Prime
And
Minister.
stuff. I don't remember that.
Kiichi Miyazawa during a state dinner.
God, there must have been
Like, he
Saturday
threw
Night
up-
Live.
He like projectile
There
vomited
must
on
have been
him.
Saturday Night Live
Oh,
skits
yeah.
about that.
Oh yeah, Dana Carvey was all over that shit.
Was he barfing on everybody?
Not goddamn.
Was he?
Yes, it was hilarious. It was the greatest thing that's ever happened.
Not gonna do blah.
I'm sure he did that. I mean, it was nonstop
Yep.
hilarity.
Yep.
Oh, it was hilarity ensued. It was the greatest thing. I just remember savoring that and being like, oh my God, thank God that happened.
That's funny.
Thank God Bush threw up all over that guy.
Yep.
And they had video of it. Of
Oh,
him.
really?
Yeah, he just like vomited all over the guy.
Oh my
It's so
God.
great.
1992.
Comedian automobile death. Oh, there's a comedian.
Oh, they're mixing
Instead
it
of an-
up.
Oh,
Instead of the
an airplane celebrity death, there's a comedian automobile death.
comedian automobile.
The
death.
comedian automobile.
I know it. Sam Kinison.
Yeah, all comedians die in car crashes.
But that's the one I remember. Sam
Yep, Sam
Kinison.
Kinison, a drunk driver hit his car.
Yep. A drunk driver hit him. I thought he was loaded.
Comedian automobile death. Sam Kinison, a drunk driver hit his car. Sad.
Yep. Yeah, he screams.
I loved him. Kind of chubby guy screaming at everybody.
1992.
Paul Link, not Paul Lind, Lynck, Lank. Paul Lank did 124 push-ups with one finger.
What? One finger?
A cock push-up.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, with one finger. He's from
That's
Great Britain.
not true.
I can fucking do that.
No.
That's nothing. I could do that
One
today.
finger.
I could do 125.
You can't do a push-up with one finger. Think about that. Think about that anatomically.
I can do it. My finger's strong. Maybe he had a
You
big
can't lift
fat,
your entire body up with one
Maybe he had
finger.
a fat-ass finger.
I
got
there's
strong feet.
I'm doubting
Then why
it.
couldn't that bitch do 125? Only 124.
I
What
just
a
that
pussy.
I don't know about
I
that
can
one.
do it.
I don't know about that one.
1992.
The first text message ever was sent in 1992 by Neil Papworth. And you know what?
Papworth.
Neil Papworth. Neil, I'm Neil
I'm
Papworth.
Papworth.
I'm going to send a text message. Do you know what it said?
What?
Merry Christmas.
That's stupid.
It had to be typed from a PC, as phones didn't allow text entry.
1992.
Star Trek TNG.
The Next Generation.
Oh, that's what that stands for. Episode F05E117, The Outcast, featured a plea for equal rights and treatments of LGBT peoples,
That's awesome.
along with a statement, they were born how they are.
That's really cool.
That's real early.
Yeah, that is
for
pretty
that.
For that stuff.
Because 92, everyone was homophobic. So
That's right.
No, that's really cool. I had no idea that happened that early, and
It makes me like that show.
It makes me want to support Star Trek.
Even though it's bored me to tears whenever I've seen it. But I really only watched the first Star Trek.
The Next Generation had
I just never got into it.
what's the
I
guy?
wasn't a real sci-fi person.
It had the bald guy who loves
Dreamy, Patrick Stewart.
Patrick's Dreamy.
1992.
A white guy from Canada is in the Guinness Book of World Records twice for having the best-selling reggae single in U.S. history, as well as the highest charting reggae single in history. Oh, God.
A white guy from Canada.
Yeah, do you remember? You'll remember. Oh, I just.
What is it? Who is it?
It's the stupidest song ever.
What is it?
Informa.
That Snow guy?
Snow.
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
Informa.
A licky boom boom down.
A licky boom boom down. Informa.
Yes, I do remember that song.
Now, I will say this reminds me.
That's reggae?
That's reggae, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Informa.
I thought it was rap.
It was kind of rapish reggae, but
Now it's time for What Would a 9-Year-Old Girl Think?
Young 9-year-old girl, you've now watched the entire video for Snow, Informer. What are your thoughts?
It was bad. Really bad.
Is it really bad? Why?
Because they were twerking.
Back in 1992? I can't believe that they were twerking. Do you know what he was singing about?
It wasn't English. I couldn't understand him, but the pictures say that he was like in prison or something.
Yeah.
And
Did you think it was a catchy song?
sort of.
Do you know what Licky Boom Boom Down means?
No. It's not English. I don't know what it means.
That guy's from Canada.
Oh.
So pretty bad overall. Out of 5 stars, 5 being the best, 0 being the worst. How many would you give that?
Okay. 0.
0. You'll never listen to that again.
No, but without the music video, I would probably watch it like
You'd listen
one
to it
other time.
without the video.
Yes, like one other time.
That was on the radio all the time in 92.
I feel bad for you guys.
Okay. Well, thank you, Audrey.
1992.
Hurricane Andrew hit Florida.
Yes, I remember that.
Destroying a facility housing Burmese pythons, releasing them into the wild.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
There are now thousands of the non-native snakes.
That's not good, honey.
No.
1992.
Mortal Kombat was the first game to get a mature rating by ESRB, the Entertainment Software Rating Board.
Okay.
It was the game directly responsible for the creation of the ESRB.
Oh, I wonder what was wrong with it. It was just real
Mortal
violent.
Kombat, I think it's bloody.
Yeah.
They were
Okay.
the first ones that had blood. Because still,
Yeah.
graphics weren't that good.
Right. It was probably the little pixelated blood that would come off.
Yeah, and jizz. Probably blood and jizz.
1992.
Michael Jordan was the ambassador of Nike, but his team was sponsored by Reebok. So his uniform had a Reebok patch on the right shoulder. Jordan carried an American flag on his right shoulder to completely hide the Reebok logo, proclaiming that the American flag cannot deface anything.
Oh. So he was a corporate whore for Nike.
Yeah, Air Jordans.
It's not like he was being some patriotic, idealist.
No.
He was a whore for that
No,
for Nike.
Right. He was not being right.
All right.
1992.
In 1992, McDonald's sold a burger called the McJordan. that included all of Michael Jordan's hair.
No.
No. In 1992, McDonald's sold a burger called the McJordan that included all of Michael Jordan's favorite toppings,
Okay.
one of which was barbecue sauce. In 2012, an unopened gallon of 20-year-old McJordan barbecue sauce sold
Ew.
on eBay for $9,995
No way.
in 2012.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it's 20 years later.
A 20-year-old bottle of it, though? Why would somebody buy
A gallon of it.
that? A gallon of it?
Someone has that right now.
And they spent almost
Or do you
$10,000
think
for
they
it.
ate it?
No.
Do you think it's sitting in a
They
sports
want to
bar?
sell it 20 more years,
It's in
probably.
a sports bar on a shelf. Like, this is Jordan. It's got to be in Chicago, right?
1992.
In the 1992 Olympic basketball dream team did not call a single timeout the entire Olympic tournament.
Oh.
That was the thing I was going to say when we were talking about Olympics earlier, and it sucked, and nothing is ever good.
Yeah, that was the exception.
The only time I ever thought it was cool was like, and I was like, why did we never do this sooner?
Going basketball?
We have Patrick Ewing and Michael Jordan and Isaiah Thomas and Dennis
Oh,
Rodman.
putting them on the same team.
We have the greatest basketball players in the world. Why are we sending 5 white guys to go play basketball on our
Yeah,
Olympic
really.
team every year? Like 5
Yeah.
idiot white guys that
That's
don't even
true.
play college.
That's right.
And then finally in '92 they did it. It
They-
was the dream team, and they like dominated
I
everybody.
bet.
They were really good.
I bet
And
it
was
would
like,
be
oh.
exciting to watch something like that.
And then we had like Olympics dream team cups at McDonald's.
Oh, yeah.
All that stuff. You know,
All
all
that stuff
kinds of crazy
happens.
stuff. Anyway, but that was kind of exciting to see all those guys playing on the same team. It was like an all-star team against Russia, like slamming over them and everything.
1992.
MTV introduced the Real World reality TV show in 1992. Prior to this, the network was known for running music videos.
Yeah, you imagine that, anybody
Believe it
who's-
or not, which
yeah.
is what it fucking should still
I
fucking
know.
be. Even MTV2 and MTV3, like there's one.
None of them are videos, I don't think, right?
There's one that I guess just plays videos, but it's like MTV7.
It's so stupid.
Because they have so many stupid shows that idiots watch. People know these shows, these
Yeah.
MTV shows. God.
I don't know any of them anymore.
The Real World, I think
It's still
I think
on?
they're on Real World 78.
Yeah.
No, but they have like crazy shows now. Like where,
Right.
like,
People,
oh, what do I want to date? A waffle or a person? Let's
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
Here's my date with a waffle. It was pretty good.
yeah.
I don't know. Whatever it is.
1992.
Upper Deck put baseball players with porn star sounding names at numbers ending in 69.
What?
Dick Schofield at number 269. Heathcliff Slocum at 569, and Dickie Thon at 769.
Dickie Thon?
Dickie Thon.
1992.
The cost of a Super Bowl ad in 1992.
Here we
should
go.
rename our podcast to
The
the cost of a
cost
Super
of a Super
Bowl
Bowl
ad.
ad.
850,000.
It's getting up there.
It only went up 50 grand.
It's
in a
getting
year.
up there.
1992.
I'll give you a deep dive.
Deep dive.
It's a mystery case that I decided to cover, and it's called the Springfield 3.
The Springfield 3.
And this is Springfield, Missouri.
Hey.
So it's
Now,
my
how
stomping grounds. It was the high school graduation for Suzanne Streeter and Stacy McCall, and they were these two senior girls.
They're twins?
No, their last names are different, so that would mean that they're not related.
Fuck you. They're
and
friends
They're friends, yes.
And they're seniors
it
and
was
they're
their graduation night.
at the same age as Andy, my brother.
Yes, and so
Andy's got a giant head.
there was a school-sponsored graduation party, like at one of those lock-ins, those dry, whatever.
After the graduate. But there's still the ceremony at the school.
Yeah, they had the ceremony.
Yeah.
But that night, instead of doing the school thing, they decided to do a hotel party. Okay.
These two girls did.
Yes. On June 6th, 1992 is when they had
Okay.
they
decided to
graduated.
go to a hotel.
So
So the cool kids probably were
going to the hotel. Yeah.
That's where you get
So
a bathtub full of beer.
They just at first weren't going to stay the night at the hotel, and then the next day there was a big group of kids that were planning on going to a water park, and then they decided they wanted to stay at their friend Janelle's house, who was with them.
Janelle's one of their friends?
Yes, and
What's Janelle's last name? Do we know?
They were going to stay.
Janelle's a bitch.
I do.
We're going to stay at Janelle's house. Wait a minute. So after
Janelle Kirby.
after the hotel party, they're staying at Janelle's? They're going back
That's
to
what.
Janelle's?
Yeah, they're going to spend the night at Janelle's. But
Or is
Janelle-
that what they tell their parents?
No, that's what they were planning on doing.
Okay.
But Janelle had all these family over.
Oh, no.
So they decided they didn't want to be cramped and
Janelle's
staying there.
family. What are we
So
gonna
at the
do?
last minute, they decide to go to Susie Streeter's house to sleep.
Now Susie Streeter is one of the
One
two.
of the
Okay.
three actually, but one of the two girls.
Well, Janelle's got she's got her Aunt Mabel over, so we got
'Cause she shared-
Susie Streeter's
Susie Streeter shared the house with her mother,
Okay.
Cheryl Levitt.
Okay.
So
Cheryl
she
Levitt
was a
and Susie
single
Streeter
mom.
had different names. Single mom. Gotcha.
Okay. So
Boy.
Cheryl Levitt was 47. She was divorced. She recently bought the house, so they had just moved in not
She's a
too long ago.
divorcee.
And she was a cosmetologist.
Oh.
She'd been at home that night.
Cheryl, the mom, was 47. She said, "Girls, come on over here."
Yes.
Or
so,
boys too.
No,
Like
it's
a big
just
party?
Susie and Stacy.
Oh, just two girls. Come on
A
over.
lot
and
of
see my-
S's, a lot of S
Okay.
names. And so Cheryl had been at home. She had been on the phone with a friend until 11:15 because she was refinishing a dresser or something, and they were talking.
Uh-huh.
And so that's like the last thing we know of her.
And the
That
gir-
was the last person to speak to her, was this friend on the phone.
Well, okay. Well, the girls were home.
No, the girls weren't there yet.
They weren't home yet. She
Not
was
yet.
waiting for
They
the
don't get
girls.
home till 2 a.m.
Oh, and so 11 o'clock is last we hear from Cheryl.
Yes. And
gosh.
all three of these girls have never been, the mystery is that they,
The three high school girls.
no, the two girls and the mom
Okay, that's the three women.
have never been seen again since this night.
Oh my gosh.
So
Spoiler.
the last person to talk to Mom Cheryl Levitt, the mom,
Cheryl
was a
mom's
friend
name.
on the phone. And
Okay.
so
at 11.
it's assumed that the two girls made it home around 2 a.m. They were seen at 2:30 a.m. around Battlefield Road in Springfield. And it's believed that they arrived safely at home because their cars were in the driveway and their belongings were inside the house. Like,
So they came in, brought their stuff down.
yeah, the purses,
We
their
had a
clothes,
wicked
cigarettes,
party.
makeup was all there.
Cigarettes.
They were all smokers, I guess. So around 8 a.m. the next morning, her friends, they all were going to go to this water park together.
A
So-
whitewater park or a water park?
Whitewater Water Park, it's called.
Okay.
It was called that. Their friend Janelle Kirby, the one that they were at first going to stay the night
Yeah.
with, she calls their house about 8.
Oh, because she's ready to go. The next
yeah,
morning.
it's the next morning.
I got
This
all
is
my
June
family
7th,
here, and I can't wait to get out of
1992.
here on June 7th.
Yes.
On June 7th, 1992, on TV that night, this was a Sunday night.
Yeah.
Because Saturday night was the night of the graduation.
The graduation
But
night, that's
Sunday
right.
on TV was the NBA Finals, Game 3. Michael Jordan had 26 points against the Portland Trail Blazers, and they won 94-84. On Fox was True Colors, Parker Lewis Can't Lose,
Yes.
The
Yep.
Simpsons, and Rock.
See, The Simpsons were on with Parker
Simpsons-
Lewis Can't Lose.
At this point in 92, they were.
Oh.
Apparently 91, they weren't.
Okay.
But by 92,
I knew
they
that was
moved it
part
to
of the Sunday night
Yeah,
lineup.
I do too, but apparently they weren't always.
Oh,
so
okay.
I remember that differently too.
Yeah.
60 Minutes of Murder, She Wrote were on TV this
Yes.
night. Life Goes On, America's Funniest Home Videos.
But now we're in the morning, though. We're not at the night yet.
Oh,
so
but-
that's kind of
But
confusing.
later that night, this was on.
This is what was on.
On the day. And the top movies at the time were Patriot Games, Sister Act, Alien 3, Far and Away, and Lethal Weapon 3. The top music was Crisscross Jump, was the number one song.
Oh,
So
Mac
somebody,
Dad'll make you
they were
jump,
dancing to
jump.
that night.
Daddy Mac will make you.
Red Hot Chili Peppers Under the Bridge was
Yeah.
a slow song. En Vogue, My Lovin', Never Gonna Get
Oh,
It,
I
Never
loved En
Gonna Get
Vogue.
It. That was a big song then. I'll Be There by Mariah Carey, live unplugged, which I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
And of course, Sir Mix-a-Lot, Baby Got Back. And honey, bear with me, but in the wrestling world,
Oh, boy.
Typhoon and Earthquake were two big fat guys, and they were in a feud with Money Inc. Erwin R. Shyster, IRS,
Oh, my God.
and Million Dollar Man.
It's such a soap opera for dudes.
Well, very sadly, though, the Big Boss Man was savagely attacked. The Big Boss
By
Man,
who?
Big Boss Man was a prison guard.
Yeah.
He was savagely attacked by an ex-convict named Nails. And
Jeez. It's so dumb.
to quote Gorilla Monsoon, in 30 years, never have I seen anyone take a beating like that. Nails really took the wood to the Boss Man, possibly terminating his career.
Oh, that's so sad.
But
I'm
he-
broken up by that.
But he didn't. And remember when I told you last year's episode, Sergeant Slaughter was fighting for the Iraqis and Hulk Hogan defeated him by ripping an Iraqi
Yes,
flag?
yes.
Well, Sergeant Slaughter in 1992 was back to a U.S. guy waving
okay.
a flag and fighting a Canadian guy.
A Canadian guy.
Yeah, the Mountie. He
Oh, my
was fighting
God.
a Mountie. And the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, was feuding with Bret the Hitman Hart, and they were vying for the Intercontinental
Jeez.
Championship. One of the greatest quotes in American history
Yes.
was
Was
in
from a
19
wrestler.
It was in 1992. And you tell me if you think it's a wrestler. But I'm going to read this quote.
Okay.
And you're going to be mesmerized. But
All right.
Here's the quote. You tell me. What you think of it,
I'm listening.
Oh, yeah, Ric Flair. I'm going to rock you. Yeah, because I'm bad to the bone. Oh, yeah. Understand the fact that I'm the World Wrestling Federation
You got to say
champion.
it in the voice. You got to do the voice.
And you're not, Mr. Perfect. Tell Ric Flair what I just said because he's not listening, obviously.
Now, was Mr. Perfect the manager or the little guy with the microphone, the little nerdy guy?
No, Mr. Perfect was a wrestler.
Oh, okay.
He hurt his back, so he's a manager now at this point.
Oh, okay. But
Because I'm telling you right now that I'm going to beat you some way by hook or by crook. Am I saying I'm going to hurt you? Well, possibly,
All right.
maybe, yeah.
So-
read between the lines. I don't like you, Ric Flair. And you think that you are so
this
cool.
is really not
but
necessary.
you're not. No, you're not. Too hot to handle and too cold
All right.
to hold.
Anybody
Listen to the
listening
rest.
will have turned this
Too
off
cold
by
to
now.
hold. Listen to the rest. I am living on the edge, yeah. Ric Flair, you shouldn't even come knocking on my door because nobody's home. I'm the type of person that's going to survive no matter what happens, yeah. And when the
this.
smoke clears and when the people are
I
leaving
quit.
the building, they're all going to be whispering to each other that the World Wrestling Federation champion
All
is
right,
still
enough.
the Macho Man, Randy Savage,
That's the
bad to the
thing.
bone.
It was
oh,
all
yeah,
talking.
I am. Mr. Perfect, understand that Bobby the Brain Heenan and all the Nature Boy fans can't
All
stop
right.
this from happening. Ric Flair, I'm pointing my finger
All
at
right,
you.
that's
I'm going
enough.
to get you. I'm going to beat you. I'm going to hurt you. Yeah.
All right. I can't believe
No.
you said that whole thing.
You shouldn't have interrupted because that was art.
No, there's
He
no...
made all that up on the spot.
Oh, my God. Kill me. So, the next morning,
Yeah.
Janelle Kirby, her friend,
It's June 7th.
calls about 8 a.m. and there's no answer. So, her and her boyfriend decide to go over there around 9 to see if the girls had left without them. They thought maybe they had
Oh, they
gone
went
ahead
to the water park already.
to the water park. Yeah. As they approached the house, they could see that the porch light was broken. Now, the bulb wasn't broken; it was just the casing,
Okay.
and it was broken on the porch.
There's glass. on the
And
board.
so there was, and so
Signs of
one of
struggle.
the boyfriend decided to clean it up.
Mitch?
Mike.
Is his name Mitch?
Mike. It was Mike.
God, Mike.
He decided to clean up the glass,
Yeah.
just being nice,
All right. That's a
not
nice
realizing
guy.
that they were contaminating a crime scene
Oh, he
by
fucked
doing
up.
that.
Stupid Mike. Idiot.
So then they realized the door's unlocked. The front door was unlocked,
Wide
and that
open. You don't do that in Missouri.
and Janelle, that made them kind of think, well, something might be wrong.
Oh, no.
So then they went in the house, and then they noticed that everything was fine. There was no sign of a struggle.
Right.
The cars were all in the driveway,
Yeah.
all 3 cars. But Susie, Stacy, and Sherelle were nowhere to be found.
They weren't there.
Right. They just weren't
Nobody
there.
home.
The other thing,
Must be at the water
dog,
park.
they had a dog, Cinnamon,
Cinnamon.
and the
That
dog
was
was, yeah, I know. And the dog was very upset. Seemed like it was very upset. And then the TV was turned to a snow
The
channel.
dog seemed distraught.
agitated.
Can we just say that Cinnamon is a stupid name
Yes,
for a dog?
it is a very stupid name
Come
for a
on.
dog.
Come on.
Think of something better.
Come on.
Yes. But the TV was on, but it was turned to one of those snow,
Yeah, so
like,
it was
static.
not right to the right
and
channel.
but
Something was disconnected. The cable was disconnected.
something is wrong, or this was.
There's snow on the TV. The dog's upset.
You
There's
have to
glass
turn
on
it
the
to a
porch.
snow. Like, you remember there's
Yeah.
like 5 channels,
Yeah.
and you have to turn the
You have
dial,
to turn it wrong.
and you have to turn it onto a wrong thing for it to be
Yeah.
snow, because there's
or
only
the
snow in
cable's
the
got
middle
to
of
be
the night.
disconnected.
But they probably didn't have cable.
They might have.
Yeah, I guess they could have. Their purses were there,
Oh.
and Cheryl's had $800 cash in it too, and it was there.
It was all there.
Everything was there. Their cigarettes were there, and I guess Cheryl, the mom, was a pretty heavy smoker.
Were there car keys there?
Car keys were there.
Everything was there.
Everything was there, and the beds appeared to be slept in. Now they don't know if maybe they just had never people like we are sometimes that don't always make the bed.
Hey,
Maybe
don't-
that was what it
don't
was.
air our
But
dirty laundry.
well, it's ridiculous. I ask
We
you one
always-
thing.
we
I ask you to
always
do
make
one
our
fucking
bed.
thing around here.
You
Make
asked
the
me-
bed, and
Wait,
you
one
refuse.
thing,
You
one thing.
openly refuse.
You asked me to do 25.
All right.
Do the dishes. Do the laundry.
All right, so-
make the bed. Wash my feet.
All right. So what do we have so far? We have
Okay.
porch
here's
light
what
broken.
Wait. You're the one who's droning on and on. So here's. I'll
all
tell
right.
you what
you
I've
tell me.
understood.
Okay.
Macho Man, Randy
No,
Savage.
stop it.
There's broken glass on the porch that Mike screwed up, the fucking idiot, and
Yep.
cleaned up because he just thought it was a mistake. But their cars are there, their keys are there, their purses are there.
Yes.
Their beds look slept in, and everything must be fine. There's snow on the TV, and the dog's upset. So something
That's right.
just happened. If the dog's still upset, because we all know dogs
Dogs
are fucking stupid.
Forget
and,
things
And they forget
in a
things.
blink of an eye.
So something must have just happened.
That's smart, sweetheart.
I know dogs. And
yeah,
my
you do
dog,
know dogs.
this dog right here is a fucking fucking idiot.
It's
I go
true.
get the mail.
It's true.
She thinks I've been gone for 25 years.
So just before Janelle and her boyfriend are getting ready to leave, the phone rings, and Janelle answers it. The caller didn't identify himself, but he was an obscene phone caller. So he started
Somebody
making.
called the house?
Somebody called the house.
Landline
House.
There's no
It
cell
rang.
phones.
She went over and answered it, and
Janelle
it
says-
was an obscene phone caller.
Oh.
And he was making all this sexual stuff. So she hung up,
Could be unrelated.
and then he calls again immediately, and she hangs up again.
No, I don't think it's unrelated.
So her and her boyfriend leave, but that's just weird that happened.
It
You
is
know, on that
weird.
same day.
Now, where do they go? Do they go to the water park?
They probably did. They probably just left and
Probably
decided they
assumed
don't.
they
They
would see
don't
him.
notify authorities or anything.
No, because they assumed.
They
that's
assume, well, I guess they're gone.
That's a crazy
And they're
dog.
teenagers.
Idiots left their TV on, and teenagers ain't smart.
So the next visitor was
I'm
Stacy's
talking to
mom.
you, Jenny Schwartz.
Janice McCall, Stacy's mom, was the next visitor. So this is one of the two missing girls' mom. The other missing girl's mom.
Okay, the girl's mom, Stacy.
Stacy's mom, Janice McCall, was the next
Janice
visitor.
McCall shows up because she's like, "Where's my daughter? What time is this?"
She decided to call on her daughter in person since she hadn't heard from her since the night before. So it was
She's probably mad too. Like, why didn't you call?
Right.
She thinks she's gonna see her daughter and yell at her.
Yeah, so this is almost 12 hours later since she's seen her daughter. So
Yeah, 12 hours is a long time.
she goes in, she sees the doors unlocked, and she goes into the house.
Okay.
She inspects the home. She finds that her daughter's underwear and T-shirt were missing, but the rest of the clothes were neatly folded by her.
Oh.
So it wasn't
All her
just thrown.
stuff is there, but she
Everything is
clearly left-
there. The only items of her clothes that were missing was underwear and a T-shirt. So
Now-
it was like she was sleeping.
Yeah, but
Somebody
come
took
on.
her.
Does the mom really know every single thing she packed?
Well, she probably saw her the night before and knew what she was wearing, so
Well,
she knew
and
that.
She probably packed her bag for her.
And
'cause
she
she's a
probably
teenager.
saw another outfit and assumed that would be for that day.
Yeah.
But she was probably looking, and I'm sure the police probably interviewed her too about what she would have maybe brought with her. There was evidence in the bathroom to suggest the girls had taken off their makeup the night before too.
Oh, that makeup
So,
residue.
and then Janice also noted the purses of all three women were lined up outside Susie's room, which she found was odd. So they were just
Yeah,
like
they wouldn't be lined
all
up.
three purses lined up
Nobody
right
lines up
outside
their
Susie's
purses.
room, which is weird.
Right.
And the television she saw on just like it was before, and they didn't. The other kids hadn't turned it off, so it was on. Then she said she saw a voicemail on the machine. The
Yeah,
machine
'cause
was blinking.
This is back in the day. Younger listeners, there was a thing called answering machines.
Right, and it would blink red.
We didn't
when
all
you had
have
a message.
phones in our pockets. We couldn't be reached at all times. There would be an answering machine at your house with a light, and that's how you'd know somebody called
Yes.
you.
So it's blinking,
Yeah.
and she goes over and pushes it, which
Yeah, she wants to hear it.
she doesn't know what's happened, and so she just so
And
there were several messages on there. Some were from friends, but then there was one from this obscene phone call
the obscene
guy
phone
again.
caller's back.
Yes,
I'm thinking this is the suspect.
and so she somehow accidentally deletes all the messages.
God.
Yeah,
Between her and Mike,
yeah, I know.
jeez.
I know it. So she uses their landline and calls the police. That's when the police start to get involved.
Oh, okay.
Now, this is more than 16 hours more after the women were last seen.
16 hours.
So Stacy's parents finally contact the police. This is now late Sunday night.
Late Sunday night. That's all you
So
know.
that's
This is when
16
Murder,
hours.
She Wrote.
Yeah.
Way after Murder, She Wrote was on.
Yeah. So because of this, there had been a lot of friends and family members that had
60
visited the
minutes.
house before the police had a chance to even investigate.
Everybody screwed up the scene.
Yeah, the crime scene was completely contaminated. Police asked Janice.
And now we're at after the Bulls game is over.
Yes, and police ask the mom for dental records for her daughter just in case, which that's got to be one of the worst things to hear as a parent when you say your daughter's missing. They end up going there the following day, and then by that time, as many as 10 people had visited the scene.
Oh, no.
So Stacy's mother said all of her clothes were there except the T-shirt and the pair of underwear, and there was evidence when they went to bed. So basically, the time frame that we have
Yes.
is 2 a.m.
2
That was
a.m.
2:30 a.m. was the last time they were
2:30.
seen driving to 8 a.m.
Somebody
when
saw
the phone
them drive
calls.
at 2:30.
Yes. So between the 2:30 a.m. and then the 8 a.m. when the phone call,
from the heavy breathing.
something happened, and we don't know what. Once their disappearance was
This is gripping.
don't you love us? Once their disappearance was made public, this was a couple weeks later, and they hadn't they didn't publicize it until, and so this woman comes forward and says she's just this woman that is a nearby area woman.
Yeah,
she
an
said
area
she
woman.
saw Susie crying. She was driving an old greenish van around 6 a.m. the day of their disappearance, and she was crying, and so she backed up.
Wait.
What?
The woman was driving a green van?
The girl, the 16-year-old girl, or
Who?
the Susie, one of the graduates, one of the high school
Is she
girls.
the daughter?
The daughter.
Of the one who's missing?
She's one of the missing girls.
Which one?
The one whose mom, she's the daughter of the one who's missing.
She's the one who
Susie
lived in
Streeter.
the house.
Yes.
Susie Streeter.
Lived in that house. So
Wait, say this again. This woman comes forward
this
and she says
says
she saw Susie.
she saw Susie Streeter driving this old greenish van, and it's like then she pulled in
When did she see her?
about 6 a.m. that day.
The morning she was missing?
Yes, and that she said she saw her pull into this nearby driveway, and she heard a male voice say, "Back out slowly and don't do anything stupid."
Oh,
and
she's in a van.
yes, and so I don't know why it took her 2 weeks to report this. She couldn't see a man, but she heard a man's voice
She
say
heard
that.
a dude's voice.
Now, the police were so thin on evidence that they made a replica of this van and they put it in front of the Springfield Police Department to see if anybody recognized it. A paperboy did say he had seen a similar van, and there was a lot of other tips that came in because of them doing that, but nothing ever really materialized.
No, vans to me are all creepy.
Especially a old dark green van.
Well, when you say dark green van, my uncle Terry,
Oh boy!
who you're very familiar with.
Did you take a shit in that? Because you seem to have taken a shit in everything at Terry's.
No, I took a shit in the garage and Terry shoveled it. Other than that, Terry had a green van. Terry might be a suspect.
You
Terry
don't know. He
Sanders.
might be.
No.
We're getting into this. We're getting ready to get to the suspects because there's no
but
there's no
here's what I
shortage
was-
of total creepers.
Here's
in
what I was
this.
trying to get to. Do you think vans are? Is there any instance where vans aren't creepy?
That's a minivan. Minivans are fine.
I think all vans are creepy.
No, I think cargo vans are creepy. So
I-
let's get to the suspects. Dun, 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 dun.
Well, there's a suspect.
There's different ones. There,
can't wait
like I
for
said,
this.
there's no
I
shortage
gotta say,
of total
will-
creepers.
I'm
in this
going to
story.
admit right now that you did a great job with this.
Oh, you like this one?
The number one, I didn't know about it. It's not famous, and number
it's
two,
interesting.
You kept it from me good enough. And number three, I can't wait. I'm gripped.
You're gripped. Good.
I
Okay.
can't wait. I'm
good.
at the edge of my seat.
Good. Good.
My balls hurt from being on that
So
seat.
the first suspect
yeah.
was Cheryl's son, Bart Streeter. So this is
Wait a
Susie
minute.
Streeter's brother.
She's got a son.
Yes.
You didn't tell me about this, dude.
Yes. So Bart
Bart.
Streeter, with two T's.
Bart with two T's.
Yeah, Bart-
B-A-R-T-T.
Yes.
Stop right now.
He's
did
it.
it.
He did it.
He did it.
Okay, so he had a little bit of a drinking problem.
He did
Isn't that
it.
special? And since we're in the 90s, I'll say that.
He
and
did it.
he had previously fought with his mother and sister about his drinking problems. There was one point where Susie actually moved in with him, but that didn't work out. They had a falling out, and she moved back in with her mom.
That was not good.
But he did live on his own. But he gave the authorities an alibi. Neighbors corroborated that he was home all night.
Okay.
So he was ruled out as a suspect quickly.
Those fucking neighbors again.
So another suspect was Susie's ex-boyfriend, Dustin Recklaw. Now, Dustin and his friend, Michael Clay, were already on the old authorities' radar.
Is that the same Michael that cleaned the glass?
No, this was a different dude. And because they had been caught going into cemeteries, into mausoleums, those are the above-the-ground graves.
Yeah.
And they were stealing skulls and bones and stealing the gold teeth out of the skulls and trying to pawn them.
And stealing gold from Sammy Davis Jr.?
Yeah, stealing gold from Sammy Davis Jr.'s
How
ass.
was
No, they were charged with institutional vandalism for selling gold teeth they stole from corpses. So,
well, I'd say that's a pretty good suspect right there, too.
and Clay, the friend, had also reportedly said he wished all three of those women were dead.
Well,
So
that's a suspect.
the police could also not confirm their alibi. They said they were at a rock concert, but I'm thinking that's not an alibi because the girls didn't get home till 2:30 in the morning.
Rock concerts are over.
Yes, ding ding a ding a ding. So, but
can't
there's
be in
been
a concert
there's
anymore.
been no evidence that links them to the crime, but neither man has been ruled out right now as a suspect.
The one who fucking said they wanted him dead.
Yeah.
That dude did it.
But there's no evidence.
But
So-
Bart with 3 T's.
And that's also hearsay.
I can see the court case right now. This guy said he wanted them all dead. Yes, Your Honor. But Bart with 3 T's.
He's two T's.
Two T's.
Susie had given a statement to police implicating the boys for stealing the corpses and selling them. So Susie testified against.
Oh, well, there
Not
you go.
testified. She gave a police statement that implicated them. So,
Yeah, that's it.
but Dustin and Michael cooperated with the police. They're still considered suspects, though, to this day. The next suspect, his name was Stephen Eugene Garrison.
Stephen Eugene Garrison.
He comes to police and he tells them that a friend at a party confessed to him during a drunken party. That the friend confessed to murdering these 3 women.
A friend confessed to Steve Garrison.
To Steve Eugene Garrison. And he knew information that was unknown to the public. They searched 2 sites where he said that they'd find their bodies, and they said they'd find a moss green van about 12 miles from the site.
You didn't say moss green before.
Well, dark green. The property that they searched was coincidentally the same site that law enforcement searched in 1990 for 2 missing people, which was owned by this man who pled guilty to 2 counts of second-degree murder.
2 other missing people.
And a gag order was placed on the search. They didn't want to talk about the items found at the site. The police never said what they found. And also Garrison was serving 40 years for kidnapping, raping, and terrorizing a Springfield college student.
So he was already in jail when he confessed to this. That somebody told him
That
about
somebody told him about it.
At a party? What kind of party was
I don't
that?
know. And in 93, police tracked Garrison's movements once they put him on the radar as a suspect. He later pled guilty to 2 counts of second-degree murder and served 40 years for kidnapping, raping, and terrorizing a Springfield college student. All right, so the next guy is Gerald Carnahan. There's a lot of dirtballs in Springfield, Missouri, apparently, during this time.
all of Missouri is filled with basic
Yeah.
scum.
So
Anybody who's ever lived in Missouri.
we're getting a lot of fans from you saying
Hey, Missourians. Anybody who lives in Missouri is a piece of shit.
that. All right, Gerald Carnahan was convicted of first-degree murder and rape in 2010 that happened in 1985.
Okay.
Within a week of the murder, they looked at him at the time in 92, but not until 2007 did DNA prove that it was him, that this murder and rape was him.
A murder and rape from 85.
From 85.
When Hulk Hogan won the belt from the Iron Sheik.
And 1993 to 94, he served time for burglary, attempted kidnapping, attempting to abduct an 18-year-old in 95, and he was living in the area at the time, but there was no other evidence that points to him.
All right.
And then Larry Dwayne Hall lived with his twin in Missouri. He was one of those Civil War reenactors.
Oh God, Civil War reenactors.
I went to college with one.
You went to college with a Civil War
Yeah,
reenactor?
he was roommates with one of the theater guys, and it was ridiculous.
There was a theater
There's
guy who
something
lived with a Civil War.
a little bit wrong with the Civil War reenactors.
If you are a Civil, I'm sorry, if you were a Civil War reenactor and you listen to our podcast, thank you for listening. But what's your deal, dude? Email me at historyforjerks@gmail.com.
So he owned a green van. He traveled all over the country doing reenactments, and he later murdered a 15-year-old and was suspected in many abductions, disappearances, and murders.
Maybe this guy
up to
did it.
30 to 40 of them. He confessed once they
He did it.
once they brought him in for questioning to the 15-year-old. He confessed to all these other murders,
Not
and then he
this one,
stopped.
though?
And then he stopped talking.
Oh,
And then they couldn't get him to talk again, and so they couldn't get it. They couldn't get it admitted into court. So those guys, and now we're going to the creme de la creme. We're getting
Creme
to the
de la
last
creme.
one. Finally, this lead comes to light in the form of Robert Craig Cox.
Robert Craig Cox.
Yes. So he was a trained Army Ranger, and he had been arrested and convicted in Florida for the murder of Sharon Zellers. This is
Okay.
But-
Here's the sad thing. There's so many suspects.
Yeah.
We don't know who did this because there's so many gross
Yep.
creeps in the area
Yep.
that it could be any of these gross, disgusting weirdos in Missouri.
So he was back in 1985. Two different
1985, when Hulk Hogan won the WWF Championship from
Could
Iron
be.
Sheik. 85,
convicted
Hulk
of
Hogan.
two
Iron Sheik.
different abduction attempts and served 9 years in prison. Then he was let out. Then he was convicted for the murder of Sharon Zellers. The judge then overturned the conviction
Right.
and determined
Because
that
Sharon
the
Zellers
evidence
deserved it.
well, the evidence only gave suspicion of guilt rather than the proof of guilt. And he was paroled in 1992 and sent to live with his parents in Springfield, Missouri,
Maybe if you go
putting
live
him in
with
the
your-
right place at the right time.
Maybe if you go live with your parents in Missouri, everything will be fine and they'll
well,
make you better.
he worked as an electrician, which many people speculate would be an excellent ruse to enter a home.
Although electricians make some good money.
And police also discovered that Cox had previously worked with Stacy's father at his car lot.
Oh, shit.
Cox's girlfriend
Yeah,
at
it's
the
him.
time corroborated his alibi, but years later, however, she recanted her statement. She claimed Cox told her to lie if cops ever asked her where they were that June weekend.
And she did because she was afraid
And
of him.
3 years later, after this incident, he was arrested for assaulting a 12-year-old.
Well, there's some 12-year-olds who deserve to be assaulted.
Now, when he was in jail, he toyed with police a little bit. He said he knew that the women were dead. The Springfield 3 women were dead.
But
And he
that-
said, and
but they didn't
furthermore,
tell
he
him.
knew where they were buried. And he was a notorious attention seeker, though. So
did they find them where he said they were?
well, listen, they were unsure whether or not Cox was just lying about his involvement to keep him himself in the limelight. While he was the most promising suspect, they have no concrete evidence to convict him. And so eventually the case goes cold.
Cold case files.
Investing the case has led to nothing but dead ends and frustration. Theories about what happened
Investigating the case.
to the women that night range from satanic cult activity to human trafficking, which, God, I would rather be dead than be in human traffic
Yes.
involved in that. Several tips led police to investigate the South Park. Oh, okay, so
South Park?
the South parking garage at the Cox Hospital, which no relation to Robert Cox. It's just called Cox Hospital.
There's a hospital.
It was under construction when the 3 women disappeared.
Yes.
A local reporter hired Rick Norland, who was a mechanical engineer who specializes in ground-penetrating radar,
Oh, Rick Norland, y'all.
to scan the parking lot.
yeah, scan it,
And
brother.
there was one small area of the parking lot that had 3 anomalies. And the anomalies, Norland said the anomalies were similar to what he'd see in a graveyard. So he's scanning and remember, it was under construction.
Right.
I feel like I sound like a dipshit with this stuffy nose.
You do.
He's scanning the graveyard, and
Yeah.
he stops at these 3 anomalies similar to what he would find in a graveyard.
Yeah, anomaly.
You're not getting what I'm saying.
Anomalies.
But the police refused to have a core sample taken from the concrete
Because they're
because
cheapskates.
they refuse, I guess. There's been people that have offered to pay to have the core samples taken, and the hospital has said no. There's been 5,000 tips over the years. The case remains unsolved. In 1997, the police declared the 3 women legally dead. Still, the case has not yet been closed. So any information that anyone out there has is still welcome by the police.
Welcome, but they ain't going to do nothing about it.
And I got a lot of my information from thelineup.com.
TheLineup.com.
Also, there's a fantastic podcast called True Crime Garage that
Listen to True Crime Garage.
that I got a lot of. They go way deep diving into some of these cases, and I got a lot from them as well. And they're really cool.
And please sponsor our podcast. Only $10,000 a month. And you can...
So what do you think happened?
I think they're in that garage. I want to know about this Cox Hospital, and can we look in the
But what do you think happened?
Oh, I think that fucking dude did it.
Which
The
one?
dude who knew where they were. Who knows that they're buried in that garage? That
The
last dude.
engineer, the mechanical engineer that saw the anomalies?
No, the last guy you said.
Oh,
that said he
Cox,
knew
Robert
where it
Craig
was.
Cox.
Cox.
He said he wouldn't confess or he wouldn't say where they were until his mother dies. Is what the last
Is
thing he
his mother
said.
still alive?
Yes,
What's her name?
something Cox. I don't know,
Let's take care of business.
but
No, I don't want to kill anybody. No, but I think he did it because he knows they're in that garage. But is that Cox Hospital still a thing?
yeah,
Let's go visit it. We have an obligation as a podcasting family to go visit.
So you
that.
think what do you think? So they got there at 2:30 a.m. It's evident to me, if the only thing missing was T-shirt and underpants, that they had gone to bed.
Yeah, I think this dude
So you think
saw
he
these,
snuck in the house and in the middle of the night?
whatever it was, he saw these girls. They were drunk. They came home drunk.
But the mom wasn't drunk.
No, but she was asleep.
There was no signs of a
Mom-
struggle, which is the weird
Mom
thing.
was asleep. She was 43 and she was a cosmetologist.
No sign of forced entry
They work
either.
hard. Cosmetologists, shout out to cosmetologists. Hey, they work hard.
But listen,
she was asleep. Listen, no, listen to me. She was asleep, and the girls came home drunk, and he saw the girls. That's how he came to the house. He followed them wherever they were, partying it up at a hotel. He's probably some creep at a hotel. Followed them home.
Remember, he knew the dad. He worked at the car dealership.
Okay. So maybe he knew the girls were going to stay
Probably
there.
saw him.
Probably saw him somewhere.
Saw him at the car dealership and was like, "Oh, say."
Yeah, hot chicks say. So anyway, whatever it is, he followed him home, saw him somewhere, blah, 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 blue. Knew that it was just going to be women and no men in the house. So he wouldn't have to fight.
But how did he abduct all three of them without a sign of a struggle in their house? That's the weird part to
What if
me.
he's got a gun?
Everything was so neat.
All you need is a gun.
Yeah.
You walk in at 7 in the morning. Boom.
You think it was in the morning, in the broad daylight like that? No neighbor saw anything?
Somebody did. Remember they said they
Six
saw the
in the
van.
morning they saw it.
They saw her in the van and him telling her whatever.
Now, it's interesting. The other guy, the one that was the Civil War reenactor,
Yeah.
he had actually, it'd be interesting to look up other things about him because he's got a twin brother.
Oh, anybody who has a twin is
Here's gonna be your favorite. It's Larry and Gary.
Larry and Gary, y'all.
Yeah, he's got a twin brother, and
I knew twins named Larry and Gary.
well, and he goes all over the country, and when he murdered that 15-year-old, he burst into tears and he started confessing to all of these murders, and police really think that he might be a serial killer that was out for a long time going around, because it's so hard to catch a serial killer if they're transient like that,
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting,
he
even
did.
if he didn't do it, it'd be interesting to see
Maybe all of these suspects.
if they've pinned any crimes on him since then, because according to him, it was 30 and 40 different times.
What if this is the only case where all these suspects all accidentally worked together and murdered all these people? Like, oh, whoops, you just got attacked by 5 different serial killers that don't know each other, but they all
live
together.
in tiny
They all
Springfield,
live in this
Missouri.
tiny town. They all work together to murder all of you, and
Yeah, that could be.
they just enjoyed each other.
But I thought that was a good case. I thought it was fascinating.
That's a good one. I never heard of it,
Yep.
and I still don't know what happened. If you're listening and you have an opinion, tweet us at History for Jerks. That's our Twitter handle.
Oh, it is.
Or you can go to historyforjerks.com, leave a comment. Let us know what you think happened.
Yep.
Do you have a lead? Are you out there listening to this and you know what happened?
Right.
Are you the murderer? Confess on historyforjerks.com.
That's right. It's the best place to confess.
Or tweet us at historyforjerks. Or follow us on Stitcher and review us. And in your review, tell us that you did it.
And give us 5 stars.
And, yeah, also give us 5 stars. Also, just, send us money.
We'll
Like,
do it. Yep, gonna do it.
A cool $10,000 would be fine.
All right,
We'd
let's
take
wind
it.
this up.
Yep, and thank you for listening to 1992. That was 1992.
1992.
1992. I hope you enjoyed this. 1992 was, but that was the year Macho Man was really after Ric Flair. So
All right, we already heard we had plenty of that.
fuck you. Thank you for
So
listening.
1992, get out of here, Chuck Berry.
Get out of here, Chuck Berry. Matt Truman, sing it, baby.